Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo. Oyanim na yenin komo. Ye friend yaw Domelevo. Emiri bia betwa mu no na ye auditor general. Ekwan ya maame no anase papa yi omampani ene ne appointees fa so ehye na ni time man di na dwuma to ho ne de. Enye me na ba be chirechire mu. Latest or the Abano, Tino.
Issued a report on government liabilities, and in that report, I disallowed 5.4 billion Ghana cedis.
Yes.
That time it was about 1.1 billion US dollars equivalent. Our verification or audit revealed that some of the contracts, people signed certificates to say that this work has been done, but during the course of the audit, you go down there and you don't find the work done. The construction firms may submit their claim, and then the certification is done by the various officers, and that is not there. If you read that report, you will see that there are several instances we say that the items procured, we cannot even find it.
That's right.
If you even remember the popular Crow and Associate case, it was the same thing that the auditors came with, that they don't know what exactly Crow and Associate did, for which they were paid.
And yet they took our money.
Issued a report on government liabilities, and in that report, I disallowed 5.4 billion Ghana cedis.
Yes.
That time it was about 1.1 billion US dollars equivalent. Our verification or audit revealed that some of the contracts, people signed certificates to say that this work has been done, but during the course of the audit, you go down there and you don't find the work done. The construction firms may submit their claim, and then the certification is done by the various officers, and that is not there. If you read that report, you will see that there are several instances we say that the items procured, we cannot even find it.
That's right.
If you even remember the popular Crow and Associate case, it was the same thing that the auditors came with, that they don't know what exactly Crow and Associate did, for which they were paid.
And yet they took our money.
Yes, they took more than, people have been talking about 1 million Ghana cedis. It's dollars, not Ghana
They
cedis.
took $1 million.
It was $1 million. It's not
for
Ghana
doing
cedis,
no work.
for which we have no evidence of work done. And that was what we were challenging. And we went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court danced palogo around the case and then and released them.
What kind of country?
Yes, because the Supreme Court in that case, to be honest with you, I was shocked by their behavior, because the judge referred to the Supreme Court to tell us whether actually that procurement, that activity, was of national security. And
Okay, eti ya Domelevo no. Eti wode ne de ne bia ba beto so te ode aba peso. And someone Stephen Adei kan Professor Stephen Adei kan here. Ono so latest one ode abebom say ebra no di ne dwumadie obaya auditing no. Unwe audit na obi aba me certificate ni o. Me na sa kwan we de ma me no he makwa ye mutua meka. Na watua ne ka obekọ for inspection no na cement bag ba kokran koye. Eno no ma eye ehwesode about Crow and Associate Mokai that the famous year beto bia me carry finance minister call Kwame Sefa kan show so our Peace FM and obisa no Crow ekwan ya Ghana ye fast so tam $1 million edema Crow for with no work done and na papa no asansi sudua awo no ema Crow ote Kwame Sefa kan nim say ya o me kwade asam no kwade Crow no shedamenti ase o what is sa and Kwame as a seasoned journalist though oduma no time na almost start here near school what you say and ono so etoto papa so jane sa na finance minister so dey because finance minister abesra unim no twini bebre a okwa wonye na chiye okwa onye na chiye edraza utimi ebrabra so ati santie ya Domelevo but today Ivan Chey Innocent our hanom sanso ene yehwe nim se akwasi Peter Mensa and so the part of the NDC by joining now for so yet made the ya Domelevo ya obate Ivan Ka
issued a report on government liabilities, and in that report I disallowed 5.4 billion Ghana cedis.
Yes.
That time it was about 1.1 billion US dollars equivalent. Our verification or audit revealed that some of the contracts, people sign certificates to say that this work has been done, but during the course of the audit, you go down there and you don't find the work done. The construction firms may submit their claim, and then the certification is done by the various officers, and that is not there. If you read that report, you will see that there are several instances we say that the items procured, we cannot even find it.
That's right.
If you even remember the popular Crow and Associate case, it was the same thing that the auditors came with, that they don't know what exactly Crow and Associate did, for which they were paid.
And yet they took our money.
Yes, they took more than, people have been talking about 1 million Ghana cedis. It's dollars, they're not Ghana
They
cedis.
took $1 million.
It was $1 million. It's not
for
Ghana
doing
cedis,
no work.
for which we have no evidence of work done. And that was what we were challenging. And we went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court danced palogo around the case and then and released them.
What kind of country?
Yes, because the Supreme Court in that case, to be honest with you, I was shocked by their behavior, because the judge referred to the Supreme Court to tell us whether actually that procurement, that activity was of national security.
And some no day Supreme Court. Ivan. And then part 2.
Yeah. Nyamiadum and so yes,
Yes, I share you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Oh,
Apombo
Nyamiadum, Aja, Ghana, the Mekase. Oh, that's all that that is the most important thing. But Amamo Nene said the moon sem the Okasa woka umida. So you better Nyamia say, Yawa, dinner the biano. You bet was on ya can some say you can, because that is our duty. Because my culture say a bedroom point a democracy in intimate chance kind of tool to settle our differences. The best way to settle the differences is through say you see your voices, and that is what we are doing. Until say almost munyambre ya mbabo mine yanso ne bekoso aye de say ye nyina, because Ghana for nyina nyo bia no benya voice and you bia no benya opportunity to sit on radio or any other platform say obeka amamfo ha amomo. So anytime bia no, I think say that is what your opportunity aye be ye na church and say mama Ghana for hu say enkrofo na ye koto abade to me sure monsa so momo ayen na yem fix your challenges yemwa na yen chechiro man no na yem project your mind to a level asabi we are branta na wo man no mo behu say wo future omo ayenwo omo behu say sabi obedu o man no mo our future, because people who are in America today obi akra yenyanwo no kra press ye be wo no because of the American dream.
Akoda yenyango no America press can ko nke yawo no
yawo no, because ayekrom ha mo visitors na so amamfo nyem ya no omudi birika okọ wo ha we are citizen by virtue say yakwa wo. So and the opportunities are immense, and I think there's a had the kind of resources in near my wo ma yentimi compare who to America. At least the obese the obedi the ohomba to aso mbejo de esenka yenya, but nipa ku asabi ya to abade to me asho mo nsa so mo ayen na nka betimi ayen hyehyeye ne yede akwanya ebegu ho. I invested in the youth ne nipa mo mind mi sabe omo nsa be ka we no ayo mo ho sabe amane ya busu ajapade ya che mu ne manyina afa, and the way amana omo ye no tan bufu and sha homte say what why if you're not careful you might do things that sabi any way, because I heard the rate at which I have fast or ya from my ajapade, because amamo no mubu no. Apart from say your minus sikam dia bossa be nkwase abosi anyansa anima unhu dabe ye kwakutu esa sika na wie no, then you also look at aspect yede oman niema na oman ye japade asisi akam. Say oman ye japade na sefo nyina no ye mortgage dia ma companies agigi sika di na no mete oil field back on 10 oil field dia discussions are ongoing banya kwanya or ba kwaji sika, and we are buying now beto aso kura obeto aso a those field no, you are not getting anything. Other with special purpose vehicle na sefo ne nyina ya get fund na other way a ewo ha ordinary no ye de boa school ni hyehyeye no ya decide ne ma we nyina asisi akam the Maya Japan as for man for a tongue. So that by the time they exit, there will be nothing. Ebe wo Ghana dimwa obeka say sa niema we na migina so obu oman na say enya abro na adwemone I am not sure senka ye be wo ba bia ye we so say what say nipa kasa anya say kasa na nipa pe na moma wudi omudi oman no na ye free say emradru say these people must be stopped.
I see. Meba ohona maje o comment kakra briefly on papa Fredo ya Domelevo. So to say that me born in natural.
Yes.
Contract out do a man for my we adwuma no already certificate or the about to America. Okay, intino omo audit no yan konko he obekoro nothing has been done. Na ebinumo yebetua crow de okae. But Saturday din komo and now can be say National Cathedral issue beto dwa asofo chocho room and now we say omuntimi enton so survey on that board and so beam. Quickly,
yeah, I think the level of hypocrisy time, and sometimes what Nancy say about time boneno kosono, you expect man of great conviction to rise up against the occasion. Say, Adei way me any padeseni, so who gauge it against right or wrong. You make no excuses. You choose the side the person will call. So at the right goal now, Kasano, your convictions will serve you right to say go against this thing and you make your point. Sabaya man for better. But a better point that individuals get into Niama Sebi or Moankasa proud to say or Mokomuno. They are privy to the consequences as Sebi, a was Anyamanum, or munim the facts and Adenomoyan and yet. But ye ba finance akwanso abawuram akwako dibia eduru ba bi na sesebi etwotwia then you see people coming out afena ye ba beteto ebi na metese na wo Professor Adei ne tape na wo bo no it's not as if say anema na ekoso na onya aware he was aware but all this one we me na no ankasa when we started he was one of the persons asabi now mudi amanfo atem so mo criticize aban no but that time na all yes anema no nyina no na sa awudie ni sa abone no ekoso until that time sabi ne tutwi ya ne baby a wote yi ni free ho that is why as at that point na oba abontia what is all can same way National Cathedral na ye kan ho asem say Ghana say na no what na what discussion going on the airwaves now has a kidney crisis you say kidney disease and for dialysis machines kura man for ba access and apart from Kolebu no I'm not sure say any of our medical facilities say we benya bi wo baby a man for enya machines na nkasa kura ko Kolebu a problem. And there are numerous challenges youth to unemployment. I can't asem moko nap kokura na sebe monya adwuma anye. Na several other challenges. Sa o man no na software omudi o man anima we assume that these people with divine wisdom asabi onya o man no kra etu anamo na enya papa omo no be pre oban no de nesi say sabi ade wo ya wo ye ye ne sia na nkebe ye. At that point a minor sabi ye declare say ye kakra ye ntumi ntua na say mutimi sha ban kutu pasa at this point in time onkosi Cathedral knowing very well say sika bia na ba bia ye de kwakoye saade no land na ye kwakosi adenasi so no e ya ban asase aban asase in the prime area cantonment wunim a dime ye fan say 1 acre ne price ewo sa area no ye kobu judges adan to gu ye that came at a cost ni nyina na asofo no ya we but Duncan Williams be ka kire say enye oman sika e na ye de yes ade no ye bugu ye sesi am no ka say eye Waterstone e de aban court wa they demanding over $4 million in judgment debt from government ni nyina because of this particular cathedral eno achi and a finance minister comfortably no de nsa kobo ye consolidated fund mo that records to parliament enya aware and na ye de yes ansem hunu we and even the activities of the cathedral ni shrouded with corruption a whole lot of filthy because of her kwan fast why the architectural drawings in as a former David Ajaye and now the scandal just me so we are aware that the cost why most of the contract onya were pull out because of some sexual relationship onya with onwankasa and workers and one lose a lot of nearby cost. This is the person designing a cathedral na sa nearby cost nyina contract na dey man for competitive tendering, which is the default position of our Procurement Act, at least bietuma among for no the tender no very restrictive. Emma ajaye yunkwana sani nyina ya de ma no a whole corruption na se for and the other exposure na bo kuja to be one of the members a double identity ye fancy sika ye de koma TNS ventures na se for whole lot of scandals akom na kwakodru baby na fe ajemu nsem afe na so for no baba catch and say they are resigning from the board. I am telling you, sir, this is no time for them to be resigning from the board quietly. They should be bold enough and look at Ghanaians in our faces and apologize to everybody, because we saw it proud. We warned them. We told them, say, Ghana, these are not the right circumstances. They built the cathedral and the economy, baby, and now my say be a debt to your GDP. Look at the numbers out there. Look at say, telling our external creditors say ye default ye ntimi ya entimo my space sesi amono ka say wo ba krom ha ya eye pensioners amanfo a enkokrafo obi a save for several years okọ retirement ni sika ne nsa beka no ene eye brabone ne some reckless decisions a kendo for return na se for ko take ye nti ene Omusika akwakodi baby because of Bosia Bonia Yaba. And now he's on radio telling external creditors there. Omomoto Ghana bond no. They should be ready to accept 30% your friends saying haircut. Now Ufri say Omomusika no munya no ko obi or not US and not UK wakoto coupon na. What prime against ni nema or the buyer in the future no. Now catch on accept 30% haircut. Do you think that person will accept? So this is the state and this is the fate of our economy. Asabi enuma sem adibia ako. So at that point, you don't expect Nyamini Pasabi. Amanfo on the other side were telling them that this is no time, because other countries now would compare like US your friends Spain and your friends France now we see Notre Dame those days, and yet under this current dispensation those days in catch us France Okoha not the first estate, the second estate no really a minor, those aristocrats and most of them were Roman Catholic. I don't know who really France then. So those people who being in position of power they were in a comfortable position to build cathedrals and so forth. But then about monument for attraction of amount for call Ecotuesica Oko Spain Sacrada ya ewohoi amount for visit one amount of money they get from there and the ketwa. But this point, one year at the time you need to invest in other areas. Go to our schools and go and look at the food amount for the under this particular school feeding program. Ghana high ya policy, design deliberate policy say you feed akrabia with 70 pesos. Yeah. Now Sabi obi krama en cry in a day, the 70 pesos FED and this is the kind of condition that you're creating. Now these are people who are supposed to grow and grow well. The future of this particular country. Sas nema when subject to mutua. Future being and you look at the educational system, then as a phone, the challenges I womb, then as a phone, because of globalization, ye nisa metigana na miko school no be to US. We are on the same competitive market. We school applying to the same place for a job. So the education here must be competitive, must be something you can reckon with that. So and they are competing with somebody elsewhere. But all these things, has never been a priority of power. All this thing has never been a priority of government. You pursue perverted your friends' priorities. Are those priorities, any impact be our Ghana need so because you see cathedral, meaning the kind of impact at Ghana, but say who be a numa, who be factories, who they we invest in the youth. Now man for capital, see and starting business. Now making sure that you create a conducive your friends economic environment. I'm for betting me leverage it to maximize whatever potential be on Mobiana. So and the more minor grow, but all these things has never been a priority. So those as of for may I am calling on them that they should not just run away like cowards. They should apologize to Ghanaians because at some point in time, Duncan Williams insulted us. Or catch us here, Pacasa, Ghana Sika Navy Sika Tigrano. And the other daddy said, right under his note, Yadi or my Sika and yes, I near man, and shrouded with corruption and whole of filthy and unholy staffs in our coso under this particular cathedral. What is he telling us? And you think resignation is enough? And I've heard people on radio trying to commend them on my idea. They are part of our problem. They are the very people almost buying kutupa. And money yes, I near my hununa sabi edia babedu baby. Enti so was and papa be catch Ghana for. They should apologize to us because that hole now and I bet the most expensive hole at the center of Accra. Yeah, then Waterstone, the compensation from government and other staff are ekoso. So eka and omodia bro minor. I am not sure say apology is enough. But you see, we live in a country where consequences and as for a month for year abonea. Yam punish you be me say going forward, we need to establish a conventional deterrence. Sabi, obiti babiness or ye at the bonnet against a minor. Obehusa idea we are me. There are consequences. Sabi, Nipano, ebe facey. Because we've had instances where in South Korea, our president, Park Hee, your friends at Nippon, so I'm somewhere around 2014, sitting president, Eko Naiville, with the upper your friend heir to Samsung group of company because none papana yare, and on them many year deals, corruption, corrupt activities, of course. So under investigation, the president went to court. She was jailed. Your friend saying, Papa Nankasa, your friends heir apparent to Samsung group of companies, Okoda jail. Then Bureau of National Intelligence. Omuka say CIA so national we all down on. He ended up in jail. These are powerful people. And to the ordinary person, now when I'm on the street of Seoul, South Korea, then you know, says who go against the country, there will be consequences for you. Sa conventional deterrence, Let's establish many people who say, Adebia Bayeti or Mainibia, you don't go scot free. By a tenance, now you created that environment where people can just go against the state and go freer. I think I don't know be the floodgate for people to be doing all that they are doing. Because so what's your mind more? There are two key things as a country you should never do. One, state, you can never show weakness and you can never show mercy. These are two key things. So, your president, your minor runner, two key things the state can never show a mercy and weakness. Because the very moment you show weakness, and the very moment you begin say, that is the point you create hope for people to invade you. And that point, and there is absolutely nothing that you can do. Because Nippon has some court. Yeah, the answer now the Beko, and court for I work for Hene, Chroma so that him for say and patch out there, Munimi Yankasa, and I say, work of us for Mabo Kasok, Nipanaya Boneno. So I know the nation loses because a mine will be at the Elusua will be on Faho. So at this point, I think that they should go to the extent of say, you apologize to Ghanaian and say, Mukanyans are some trying, even though you mean the part young. So Yapamacho, that is what we want to hear from them.
But let's tell you enough for you because one. Na ka Williams asema okay oba be catch us ya catch yen say enya ban sika de DC
yes
enti munka manuntum enya za
yes
enya man na deceive from let's the onset no and o catch so there is the plan na ye ko ye ni say plan be fail no and I say yen ko fa aban sika me because already no ye di can time excavators akọ site akọ bu den go say na ye wo ka no enti you might not even know the relationship between even these men of God and even the president. It be a very tight madam for when you juma wa frame was so the vision. What turn the vision their mind. And I was saying the yanko. But you could point to be a who said no, Ghana Fakasa. It's Pam no try to know as much, it's resignation, no. And explanation from the bar as a audit current to be consul, near we said that now say Brano no. Briefing because so audit because now they are money none. And enough. Than rather say that go Ghana
it's not enough because you see it's not as if say they didn't know. And what here so we invite me so Radio Good Area project to be we need you to be on board. I'll make sure say every proper investigation be a may be who the source of funding be a DBA free and who said there are guarantees say even say a solicited fund crana we know how much air like a benya and you gauge that against the cost. Now besides say indeed a bit me as a normal person that is what you do. But if you don't do all this preliminary assessment on your own, nasa will jump it on because yeah they are not kakake. Sebi sika nya available then I say na yam kra asem na nkra dwen na wodwen because obi a wa mature to that particular level and this men of God no oma build the cathedral pen Duncan William has his own cathedral and there are several other we are men of God. I respect them so much because they've been able on their own to build their own cathedral.
Exactly.
But to be hoodwinked into the idea that government is coming to build cathedral our misa source of funding and asephobia na in the course of it payment will be made.
But initially we were told
that
the source to know every government.
Yes.
The only commitment from yeah, as a nation, assassin be provided.
Yes.
Want to be. It's not enough to convince these men.
No, we ordinary people, you know, they're like ordinary people meet here radio. Those in some air fly around, no, may be enough.
Okay.
Because after all, but when you are called onto the board, when you are part of the whole team now, I carry out such an initiative now. Because you see, your integrity will be on the line. So you might want to do proper assessment to know, say, because I know, say, in their life, you know, they don't just go into anything just like that. Yeah. You do proper assessment, and as for who say, along the line, your integrity will not be on the line. Because the kind of edifice that was being proposed, now we have drawings, drawings in look at payment we gave it to Adei.
Yeah.
That money alone need to make constructed cathedral to a certain level. And if those payments were being made, transfer to Kwesi way crutch no.
Yeah.
Yes, or no bosia. And they needed to refund that particular money. At the time he paid the money to the state, until this particular thing came out. So I think the apology is not enough, because it's not as if they were walking into a minefield. No, they were privy and who gauge their against the then political sentiment and people were talking about the other side of it. Lot of revelations came, and now people at that particular point in time were telling these men of God, say they should desert this particular thing because corruption in as for abano will be enough. And again, the entire Ghana for any bring and say even the venture itself didn't make sense in any way at this particular point in time. On my was struggle, I won't even pay with debt. On my school feeding, the go to our secondary schools and look at the challenges there. Syllabus, lower schools now. They don't even have syllabus. Look at the way Amana, pensioners and other people are suffering. So under what? And a man of God, but my proper assessment with the economy in perspective. Now I conclude this. Building a cathedral for God at this particular time is a sensible venture that you need to invest in. It wasn't a sensible venture for even to begin with. And your flower, as a man of God, you tell them, say, looking at the current state of this particular economy, that can never be a priority of government. So, with Ubu and Nugus so against the very many concerns being expressed by Ghanaians then, Ghana for Kasao, it's not as if this thing popped up. Ghanaians were very much concerned about the rate of unemployment, because NAPCO until date the amount for Kayentuai and several other even contractors in as a forum project ya cancel road in as a for because what second secondary school say crab pace what demo munya baby nai so nim say you blocks in as a for we needed money to complete them near money they break me heart Sadly, my building na isi wono. Abansi enye sika mfa nto aso. But yakwaji asase ya de foforo. And these people were here. They could have told government say no matter the kind of scandal I will free say sadly no ewo ho. Se nipa mu si ye no. Se omu di sika, omu wi sika, omu muro mraso. Finish the project, deal with the people. You had that particular option because nobody is above the law in this country. And the Nippon or see Cathedral, and it's not as if say or Pakistan and also about Afghanistan. No. They are living in this particular country. So you don't let that particular project go waste. Then you see a sika, but you sika ma software kutu pasiem fankosi Cathedral. Go to Kumasi Afari, the military hospital there. Equipment in the go and quantify the cost involved in that particular thing. Last Captain Smart kwaye we ya ba your deputy minister man beka say few months after completed the project. It's been 3 years. It's been 3 years. And we are man of God. If you're reasonable and you're really concerned about the welfare of the people in the country, because you see, this whole God enterprise, the central team is care for humanity. It's the reason why God brought us here. But we see these people are fooling people to believe, say, as I say, we see a mama peshe and do go heaven. Now, if we say Yanko for, oh boy, he could have taken us straight to heaven. Yeah. There is no need for us to bring us here. But bringing us here means he brought us here for a purpose. And that purpose must be accomplished. That means, I need to help you, assist you. And people in the position of influence, like our software and software, they are there to ensure, say, on best shepherd, the government to do the right thing. But some they are privy to what is happening in our hospital. But they insist that, say, upon all these things, I buy so abandon the cry, young court, Cathedral. I must way in our court. So I'm saying, sir, they are as guilty as government. So let nobody make no mistake and sit somewhere and say, these are so far resigning because they have realized something is wrong. They saw it from the beginning. The whole enterprise was not a reasonable enterprise, yet they accepted to go in. So they need to apologize to Ghanaians. Just resigning and running away like coward, they will be able to me. Now running away, that is the easiest thing to do.
All right. Ivan, Che Innocent, and Moten and Canona. Minu be a friend Richard Abraham Kufuor, or Dubiase, or no, Dubiase constituency, NDC communication officer. Also, we program live on Last Excellence TV.
Okay.
We are live on Last Excellence TV in 22 countries in Africa. And you know, all Kasari, you know, we are net you. The way our Kasa, I'm a Rasta for TSC studio. I'm not Nema Ejadam, you know, also Chiao. Now, I say, Ben and Nijis will be me too one day. I was studio Hanum.
No problem.
And you know, Richard Abraham Kufuor. Only one fee, Mechiacha, when I remember that me called him kwa meba na misi kwa muna aja. Was no waba makachia diane. You know, na semi who has an wako. And Richard Kufuor, yeah, Chiacha. Now,
Dedi kama amena pending serious. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Ah, nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, pending TV.